Hi guys, welcome to week 2. This is a new project, so this is week 2 of a 6-bed supported living renovation project that we've taken on for a friend and a client. This was originally a HMO. It didn't really work out, so we're going to convert it into a property for supported living, which we'll then manage with our partners as well. Because this is week 2, Ashley is going to walk around and discuss what he's done the previous week and what's left to do, what he's uncovered, any issues, any challenges, and the solutions for them. We didn't do week 1 because we just wanted to crack on with the work. Okay, let me turn around.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. So what we do, let's step in actually straight away. So we walk straight in. So this property, you guys would have seen that I actually done a live about 2 weeks ago. So before we actually started the rip out stage of this property. So what we do is we literally just start walking through. So first and foremost, you can see here we're creating a lobby. Previously there was just a standard door, but what we've come to find is that we already knew the majority of the doors and the door frames were in a state of disrepair. They weren't in the best shape. But what's actually happened is because this property is quite old and hasn't had a refurb for quite a little bit of time. Once we actually started to pull the frames out, anybody in the trade will know that you're due to pull out a little bit of plaster, a little bit of debris from around the door frame. It was actually putting out big chunks of plaster. And when we were actually checking the plaster literally was just disintegrating in our fingers. So we had to do quite a bit of remedial works around the frames, but you can see now they are all in. So this is the first bedroom. Walk into the first bedroom. So it's going to be it is an extensive refurb, wouldn't you say too? In terms of there is quite a lot of work to do, and to be fair, as we go in day by day, we are finding little bit more to do, which is unfortunate, but that's just due to the age of the property and the fact that it hasn't had a sort of big refurb for a while. So quickly in this room too, if I just
But that's always the problem, or those challenges with quotes, isn't it? You never really know.
Exactly. This is the reason why you're meant to build in a contingency into your quote. But the fact of the matter is a lot of people, that contingency will be blown out pretty quickly. So we've got the gas meter in here. So all we're going to do is, again, you don't want a gas meter in a room. If there's ever any issues, if a meter reading needs to be done, then you're always going to need the tenant here or permission of the tenant, or you're going to have to liaise with the tenant. So what we're going to do is, this is just going to be boxed in and the meter will be turned around, and what it will mean is that you'll be able to access it from there. So a tradesman can come in and access it. A HMO manager can come in and access it. Anyone can come and access it.
So what's the process for moving a meter?
Well, if you actually have to move it, you have to physically move it, then you will need to get Cadent in, or whoever your local sort of gas supplier is, the gas network. For us, because we're just turning it around, we're able to just turn it around. It's just so it's accessed from the other side.
What's the turnaround time for getting people in? What do you have to factor in? What do you have to plan for?
So in one of our other projects, one of the projects that's close to being finished, Cadent were sort of spoke to in May. They haven't managed to get out yet. So it was a decent turnaround. So if that is something that you need to build into your building works, or if you need to move it some distance, then you need to be doing that on day 1 of your project, or even
costs?
before then. Costs for, like I said, for that other project, it was about £800. So it's going to be in and around that cost. Plus, then you're going to need to get your own gas safe certified person to come in and obviously do any relevant sort of plumbing work to it. So let's have a walk in here. So you can see again, this was one of the doors that was really bad. So the door hinges were horrible, the door closers were absolutely horrible, and you could tell that it had been replaced and sort of repaired, and it got to the point where looking at it, there was just no more repairs that could be done to it. So in order to make it safe and make it fire safe, and to have the integrity there, we had to change it all. But you can see then the plastering sort of around the frame as well, can't you too? So fairly straightforward in this room. I'm kind of using this as a bit of a storeroom at the minute. I think we've locked that for the moment. This door is going to be changed because it is just like oddly shaped, and that's probably part of the reason why I can't open it now. Not going to show my strength on screen. Let's have a walk in here too. So again, this was old school, like a single glazed sort of piece of glass. So again, what we're going to do is fireboard it and make sure it's all fire protected, so people have got a fire route. Into the kitchen. Now, this was a real big strip out in terms of we had to strip out, you know, everything that you can see, the usual stuff. But we also had a lot of tenant furniture. So we've already made the decision on what furniture can stay, because some of the furniture was actually new or fairly new. So we've got quite a bit of furniture that's staying. All this kitchen's going to come out. We're keeping a couple of the appliances. They do look dirty now, but they are again fairly new, so they just need a bit of a clean up. So the new kitchen is going to sort of come to around about this, and it's going to go just a little bit further on that side. So we're thinking about dining table and chairs in this area, and that's all we need for this room. So watch out for this one. Into this small sort of utility area. So previously the washing machine was there, so the washing machine is going to go back there, but our builder, although he hasn't costed for that, and that wasn't sort of part of the plan, he's going to tidy that up because, again, you know, he doesn't want to sort of leave it as it is, and he knows it's not going to be a lot of work for him to sort of just box it up and neaten it up a little bit. Here, previously there was a window. What we're actually going to be doing is we're going to be putting the boiler here, so it's a perfect position for the boiler to go in. So this is the reason we've blocked up the window. It was like a stained window, stained glass anyway. You couldn't see out of it. It let a little bit of light in, so it just makes sense to just block it up. Into the shower room, if you step in there too, it's a bit tight. So this has already been replaced. So we've got the aqua boards in there. We've got a new thermostatic shower, new floors, sink and basin there. So the only thing that this shower room will need is just the paint.
Is that from Mr. Kennedy?
Don't give him another shout out.
Another shout out. Make him famous.
Actually, let's quickly pop outside. So the builders have already tidied up outside, but what I want to show you is where he's done some remedial work. So the concrete wasn't in a great area. Wasn't in great condition. So you can see here where it's filled up with some concrete, filled around the drain with some concrete. This step here was slightly broken, so that was filled with concrete. And you can see a couple of parts here that have just been made safe. Now again,
anybody else would have just ignored that. Yeah,
most builders would ignore that, and I think that's partly due to the relationship that we've got with Michael and AlphaCon. Yeah. Ultimately, he was just tasked with sort of, you know, tidying up the back garden. So he's tidied up the back garden for the most part. He's also made the back gate safe, which it wasn't originally, and he's gone and, you know, tidied up these steps.
He knows our standards and requirements. Yeah. Actually, saying that, I think we need to make sure that these are all
still going to be cleaning up there. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, let's have a walk up. So again, new frame. You can kind of see how much, probably not so much from the outside, or you can actually, but when you look from the inside as well too, you can see how much of the actual wall it pulled away. It was pulling away the wall. You seen the video when I was crumbling some of the actual plaster. So previously single glazed windows, so now we have got proper fire escape windows and they're double glazed. Again, when we pulled out these windows, it exposed a whole load of brickwork. It was quite a lot of work to be done. So what we've actually done is, instead of just bonding all of it, which would have been a huge job, we've put a load of timber in as well. So we've got some treated timber, put some timber in there, and then bonded, and then obviously we filled it up, plasterboard, we're going to skim, and it will be looking good shortly. Also up there as well, previously, if you would have remembered the live, which I will upload, this, you could see through it. So for a HMO, I don't think anybody would want a HMO room where somebody can kind of peer over when you're having a nap. It's definitely not luxury. So you can see where we've plastered it up from the outside into this room here. So again, Same story again. So you had professional HMO tenants in here, and you know there was actually paper covering it, so that's how they were keeping people from watching. So in this room, again, you can see we've got some damp issues here, so we're going to be looking at investigating that damp here, but you can also see where we've got the double glazed window in. Now, from what I can see, a lot of the damp was caused by, there was a lot of rotting timber around the old window frame, but as you can see, it's actually coming from above, so that's something that, yeah, that's something that we're exploring. Shower room. So, shower room's just going to be fairly straightforward. We're going to try and keep as much of it as possible. It's going to all be tidied up. We're going to get some new flooring down in it and give it a good clean. And we think this should be good to go, really. Smallest room in the property. So, previously has the boiler, which was in a nice cupboard. But again, boilers in rooms, that is like a real throwback. And it's a recipe for disaster as well. God forbid anything was to happen with that boiler, and you've got a tenant sleeping in this room, and it just doesn't work. So this boiler is going to be taken out. We're not reusing it anyway because it's quite old, and it's going down to the position where we showed you earlier on. Same again with this back window. Again, when we first started working a couple of weeks ago, this window has actually been broken, so it was just boarded up with some chipboard. So this has been fit now, and you can see where we've done some of the remedial work, so you can see where actually that plaster is wet. Don't touch it. So yeah, we're going to tidy up all this room, and again, another peeping hole. So what the builder's also going to do for us is he is going to be checking all the smoke and fire alarms, and he's going to be checking all the emergency lighting, just to make sure it's compliant, so we can get it certified, so we can get it handed over. So same in this room here. So this is the attic room. So door frames have been changed. For the bulk of it, we're keeping most of this furniture in here because it's still in good condition. You've got the small ensuite shower area, which is really nice. And what we're going to do is we're just going to add a little bit of rubber to these steps here, just to make it a little bit safe. Wouldn't want to get it wet, which it will get wet if someone comes out and has a shower and makes it a slip hazard. Then into the room where we're going to be changing one of the Velux windows because one of them's leaking. Tight in there, so let's go down.
Are we keeping these carpets?
We're gonna try our best to keep the carpets.
Seem alright.
Yeah, ultimately, so this carpet here doesn't look too bad, and I think it probably looks a little bit worse because obviously it's dirty. But when we seen it originally, it didn't look in great condition. So there were some parts where there was sort of new carpet, and other parts where it was a little bit old. So we were thinking, how much of the carpet can we actually keep? Now, given that we've got pretty extensive works on, speaking to the investor, it's sort of, we wanted to try and keep as much as we can. Once we've done all the works, we can see, but most of it was really soiled. So even though it was new, some of this carpet was only 8 months old, but it wasn't in a good state of repair. And to be fair, I think that's probably down to, it's definitely down to probably the tenants that were here previously, and the care that was taken. But we'll start again afresh. Again, we don't like to do things in halves, but it is just a refurbishment, so it's not back to brick. Not everything is going to be brand new, so we just want to make as much as we can like new. So yeah, other than that too, I think that is pretty much it for this this update. I mean, this is a 6-week project. We're into week 2. We've done quite a fair bit already. The skip's going to be coming on Monday, so we're going to be getting rid of everything from the skip. And then we've got the windows in. The kitchen's going to be coming in next week, and then after that, it's literally just going to be painting and stuff. Yeah. So we're cooking on gas.
Yeah, I think Michael's smashing through this one, isn't it?
He's really smashing through. And I think as well, what is kind of what Michael showed us again, which is something he shows us on all our projects, is if you've got things organised, you know exactly what you're doing and what you're working towards, things can be done sort of pretty efficiently in building works. Now, building works are difficult, but you can make it fairly easy. You can see now we've got all the windows in. For the most part, most of the plastering that we need to do is done, or will get done around the window frames. And then after that, it's just going to be redecoration and painting, checking some of the lights and whatnot.
Okay, how long do you reckon? So, what's the call on this again in terms of time?
In terms of time, 6 weeks.
Realistically,
6 weeks.
6 weeks. Okay, no promises.
Keep it 6 weeks.
Okay, all right. Hopefully that's been helpful. See you guys next week. Bye.